Watched a little bit of Providence and Oak Forest, and Providence is a good team. They got, some young talent there. But yeah, I just think St. Francis across the board is just more talented than everybody in 5A. That's why I picked them to win 5A in the very beginning, because even though you had Cary Grove and Prairie Ridge out there, I knew that for sure if they got past Prairie Ridge, then it's really set. Like, that's it, because I felt like Prairie Ridge was the better team than even Cary Grove. But yeah, just some of those guys that they have offensively with St. Francis, Brock Phillips, Zachary Washington, a lot of the other guys defensively.
Dario Milivojevic.
Yeah, yep. So they have talent across the board, and they just been playing well. They've been playing great.
Me and Efe were talking before we started recording, and he was telling me that, like he said, he thinks St. Francis is going to handle business. And I do agree with him. On paper, like the talent-wise, Francis does beat Providence in that department, but the Providence, they have a feeling, this team. It feels like something good is cooking up over there at Providence. And there's one guy I want to point out, and I gave him the nickname the Freight Train. His name's Joey Levy, and that kid I watched a couple Providence games this year, and that kid's untackable. Providence, like I said, they find ways to win games. Like that Loyola game, they found a way to win that game. A game they lost, Joliet Catholic, they were getting beat pretty bad with Joliet Catholic, and they almost came back and won that game. So it's like they're a team that never really hangs their head, and they're a team that can really shock people.
Yeah. One thing I will say about St. Francis, right? As many times as they've been in like weird situations where they could have lost the game. I'll go back to the beginning of the season when they first played Kentwood, right? I've said it. That's a game they probably should have lost. But coulda, shoulda, woulda. They won. Let's fast forward to another CPL team, Morgan Park, in the first round. It's probably also a game they should have lost. But like I said, coulda, shoulda, woulda. They got a dub. Prairie Ridge, probably their biggest challenge in 5A. Won that game against, I think Prairie Ridge was probably undefeated at that time, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Won that game. That was probably their hardest matchup in all of 5A. So I say that to say this, right? Them being in situations where I felt like they probably could have lost or should have lost, they ended up winning. It's going to be hard for me to pick St. Francis losing a state championship. So I'm going to grow with what you said, Efe. I think St. Francis will win.